Panther fans, another week, another tough loss. But did the offense look better under Andy Dalton than it did Bryce Young? You know we're going to talk about it today on the C3 Film Room. My name is Cody Lachney, joined once again by Panther, Pickle. Welcome to another edition of the C3 Film Room, where we break down the Carolina Panthers and their All-22 film. This week, we're looking at their matchup as they traveled to Seattle with Andy Dalton under center at quarterback. Panther, Pickle, how are you, man? Happy to have you back.
I'm marvelous. Couldn't be better. Well, I wished I had some wins. Yeah. Not counting Madden wins, but real wins.
I wish I had some too, man. And listen, I took some notes of some of the plays that I thought were noteworthy, and we're just gonna run through them, man. I have quite a bit, so man, hold on to your hats. We have a lot to jump into. And without further ado, let's do just that. Jump into it. We're gonna look at Ian Thomas. This is the first, really one of the first drives of the game. Ian Thomas right here just doesn't pick up the blocker, has a free rusher all the way to Andy Dalton. Just a lack of awareness and no heads up when he was supposed to be blocking on that play.
Wow. Late getting to that side if he was supposed to. That's why he's here, is it not? They kept him because he blocks, and he can't do that.
Yep.
So.
Not doing it well at all.
Nope. Add him to another list of troublesome players that, Lord willing, won't be around long.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need him a lot, man. We're going to, as much as we don't want to admit it, when you have offensive line problems, you're going to need him to be able to step up in scenarios and moments like that. And thus far, he just has not been able to do so.
Right.
So, all right.
I hope. I mean, to be honest, we do have Manhurts out in free agency. So while the staff hasn't any association with Manhurts, Panther fans remember him well, and I think he's a better blocker than Ian Thomas is. But right now, Ian Thompson has to do his job.
Yeah. So another thing, Pickle, and we're going to find this littered throughout the film today, and it's one of the questions that I have for Ejiro Rivero, and I believe you had one of the same questions. The amount of times that we drop Brian Burns back into coverage is astonishing to me, that you're not letting your most dynamic defender go out there and play dynamic. Here we are. We're going to end up rushing basically 5, and they had no intention of rushing Brian Burns on this play at all. He's really not more minding the run than even trying to, get into the backfield, which is understandable. But when you have this soft spot zone coverage, it just allowed them to be able to take advantage of, weaknesses in the zone. And you see a connection there to DK Metcalf. And that was a commonality, man. That was a big time hookup between Geno and DK Metcalf a number of times throughout the film.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed in this game was Brian Burns just didn't have a push. So I know he had some. He was listed on injury report earlier this past week. I don't know that he was still injured. They didn't seem to say he was injured. So either he had no effort or he was hurt. One of the two. But either way, since he's your primary rusher, basically the only weapon you've got to put him where you need it the most.
Yeah. And I just find that there are times in the film where they're just not quite being aggressive enough for my taste, for my opinion. But, hey, that's just one guy watching film. Next up, I wanted to actually give a little bit of love. CJ Henderson, we don't know if he's going to be available yet for the Minnesota Vikings. But I felt this was good coverage on CJ. This is him one-on-one. man coverage down with DK Metcalf.
I
So,
saw that.
some people
That
thought it was pass interference, but I think he did a good job
yeah,
staying in the hip pocket of
right.
DK Metcalf that entire play, and he did turn around,
Hmm.
got his eyes back to the football, and that's why I think they didn't call a pass interference on that play.
Right. And plus he got his head turned around, which is very is so needed for a lot of these cases. And the one thing about CJ Henderson, for all the times that Panther fans, including myself, have dogged him a little bit, the one thing that you can't dog him is he's been relatively healthy with us. He's been relatively healthy. And you can't say that about the other two guys above him on the depth chart that would be above him. But he's
No,
relatively healthy. And you'd like to see him at least succeed in the league. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's definitely going to be an important part going forward this season, as much as we might hate to admit it,
yeah,
due to the fact that J.C. Horn is not healthy yet. Can't wait to have him back. Wish we could have him for Justin Jefferson, but that will
yeah,
not be the case. Next up, I wanted to pinpoint Brian Burns here too. I had this as a near miss on my list when I was writing down my notes here. And this is something that we've complained about with Brian Burns for a number of years
hmm,
now. How there's so many almost
right,
sacks,
right.
would be sacks on his film that he's leaving out there. And the more he leaves out there, it stops him from being considered one of those dominant defenders like he wants to be.
Yeah,
Um,
well, he is considered the king of almost.
yeah,
So
sadly enough, I mean, that really is true. And I feel like Pickle, he just doesn't have a secondary move. Like he does
no,
a good job getting to the outside hip of their backup right tackle, mind you.
right,
But it just seems like here, I'll show you what I mean. I'll pause it. So he does a good job, but right there, I feel like he needs to be working on his second move of disengaging and turning his hips facing toward the quarterback right now. Whereas he's more content just to run the arc around the quarterback. And, with the one hand, that right tackle is pushing Brian Burns out of the play.
right,
And to me, that's just, we're going to need a little bit more from Brian Burns. We need
right.
more in his arsenal in those types of scenarios.
Especially if he's wanting that big contract he's been
Absolutely.
speculative to a want. Because shout out to Steve Smith who made a comment this week that um the elite guys um face double teams on every play and they still make plays.
Yeah.
And just simply fact I didn't make no plays because I was double teamed. No, that's
Yeah,
not an
it
excuse.
doesn't cut it.
Nope.
Does not cut it at all. Next up, we're going to go to 420 or 1420 here in my book. I have this written as offensive play calling, move the quarterback off the spot. So I like this, and I want to see more of it when Bryce is back under center, Pickle. And
Right.
especially when you have an offensive line that is experiencing a lot of issues, I think it benefits your offense to move the quarterback outside of the pocket. And I feel they did a nice job on this one with Andy Dalton. Move him to the outside, get the ball into the hands of your receivers,
Right.
and just let it fly.
Yeah. It was commented that there were some plays added that Andy outright requested. He outright went to the coordinators and the coach and says, "I want these plays included if I'm playing." And they did that. And I often wonder, is that one of them? Because
Yeah, what
Bryce
those
is
plays
better.
were.
Yeah, Bryce is better at moving along the line of scrimmage, moving a little bit like Andy did. And I can't help but think that hopefully maybe that sparked the confidence that Bryce can get some of these plays done. You
Yeah,
just
I
got
think
to
so too.
open the playbook to him.
Yeah, open the playbook. I mean, that's the reason why you drafted the young man. And
Right.
I also would be interested what plays Andy Dalton was talking about in those moments. What I have here is Sanders So I have this as Sanders should have bounced outside. Poor execution. They give it to Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders bounces outside, and you see Laviska Shenault has a block out here, but just fails to pick up on it. Completely whiffs. And I also feel like Miles Sanders cut this inside too hard. I felt like in an ideal world, Laviska Shenault picks up that block
Right.
and it gives Miles Sanders more room to bounce it to the outside, which I still wish he would have done. I felt
Right.
like he could have won a one-on-one matchup with that defender, wiggle him out of his shoes. Yeah,
Right.
right here, I want him to go outside even more, but he
Yeah,
does end up
exactly.
stumbling, falling to the inside, and just ends up
Yeah, it
not
it, it,
looking
it
great.
it amazes me. Um, um, I would have thought the better. I'm sorry to be critical, but last year for the Eagles, the Miles Sanders would have not been stopped by arm, but yet this
Right.
year he is. So I got to wonder why. Is it purely our system? Is it Miles Sanders? Just what is it?
Yeah. Let me go back. All right, so I have 15 for you listed right here. Um, and this is just a nothing burger pickle. No separation from our wide receivers. You have
Hmm.
trips to the left. You have a tight end at the bottom. You have Chuba Hubbard into block. And I mean, they have a hat on a hat, a man on a man up here. And I mean,
Hmm.
look at it. Adam Thielen
Well,
has someone in his hip pocket. DJ Chark, we're going to pinpoint on later. It keeps on running these lazy ass banana routes instead of a
yes.
true out route where he's just not stopping on a dime and cutting back towards the sideline. Jonathan Mingo. I mean, look, there is no separation with any of our three wide receivers on the left side of the field.
Yeah, and look at the Hayden Hurst at our YGM it doesn't YGM. Terrence TMJ doesn't have any
Mm,
separation, and these young guys have got to pick up their pace. Adam Thielen did good in this game, but he's 33 years old. You drafted a
yeah,
young guy to come in and aid. They need to start aiding because
yeah,
I mean they're real close. TMJ's already been considered by most fans a bust. And I'm sorry to say, it right now it looks like Mingo is following right along in his footsteps.
and I hate that so much, man. And I really don't know what to attribute that to. Um, I want him to be better than he is right now,
Right.
but that's not it's not happening. And I don't know if that was something that they just underestimated him being prepared to be able to go,
Right.
or maybe he's just rookie and he's going through some of these rookie issues that they're kind of destined to go through.
That's
Um,
very true. Maybe they expected him to fill a bigger role than he's currently ready to fill. But
yeah.
because of certain situations, he just has to fill it. So
So I have this written as a Brian Burns, Dante Jackson fail combo. We have Brian Burns lined up down here at edge. We have Dante Jackson on DK Metcalf. And by the way, good Lord, what a mismatch, huh? 235 pounds, 6'4", DK Metcalf, and 5'10", 205 pound Dante Jackson is like,
yeah,
man, that's a bad matchup from jump.
right.
But let's take a look at it here. Oh, this might have been it, Pickle. This might have been what you were talking about. You have Brian Burns lined up on the tight end, right?
Yes.
Your
Yep.
number one pass rusher on
Right.
the tight end, no
Yeah.
matter what. That should be a mismatch
Yeah,
all the time.
and look at
And
there's
there's
a
just
guy that
nothing
wants 30
happening.
million or 28 million dollars. No, no. If he can be stopped by a tight end, I don't know that he just if that's the best he's got. I don't know he deserves a contract.
And then look, don't let that distract you. Remember, I had this as a Dante Jackson combo. Look,
Right.
look, look at this. So it ends up again. It's that mismatch. uh DK Metcalf just barely touches him, sends him flying off. Dante does a good job of getting back into phase, but the minute that DK makes an adjustment to the ball and heads upfield, Dante Jackson is just lost,
Lost.
gets
He
away
is.
from the play, and has no chance to be anywhere near that football by the time it hits the hands of Metcalf. That's
Right.
embarrassing.
Yes. Yes, it is. And this is this the play where Woods gets hurt? I think it is. I think this is a play where
Yeah, I
Woods gets
believe so.
so we could put we could say Woods got hurt because of Dante screw up. Maybe that's unfair. So, but yes, what watch as the end zone view or the end zone view.
Here we are again, looking at Brian Burns, and again, this
Right.
is that point, Pickle. They had a backup offensive tackle.
Right.
They had a tight end.
Right. And that's their number 2 tight end, by the way.
Yeah, that's not even Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Right over here. Loses the hand battle, doesn't have enough push to be able to disengage, doesn't swipe the hands. I mean, there's almost no secondary maneuvers here. And DK Metcalf just needs time against a
Right.
player like Dante Jackson. And that's a win for him every single time, man.
Yep.
That's embarrassing stuff right there. And remember, I've been a Brian Burns defender, but now when you're starting to look at stuff like this, here it is, the 5th year. I don't know. I believe the Panthers are probably gonna keep their options open as far
Right.
as what they want to do with them and how they want to, do they want to trade him and try and get something back for him? Is that even in the cards right now? Are you putting your team further behind further behind everyone else in the division? Lots of questions to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. I know a lot of people will say we have to trade him. We have to trade him. If Cody, if you're another team, let's hypothetically say you're the Vikings, because the Vikings need an elite pass rusher. Their defense isn't that good, and you're looking at this film to find out if you want to give one first round pick for Brian Burns. Does this convince you you need to do that?
Nope. Nope.
Exactly.
It sure
That's my
does
point.
not.
That's my point.
To
So
this
right
point,
now, it's a zero.
and we've been talking about, well, maybe he was injured during the New Orleans Saints game,
Exactly. Yep.
and I mean maybe so, but I don't know, man. It's like
Right.
there's so many different sides to this. The Panthers are still in a bad spot, no matter what they do, because they do not have a lot of talent behind them. I mean, they just signed Justin Houston
Right.
and DJ Johnson, their 3rd-round pick that you traded up for. They refused to play him in the name of depth. So
Right.
it's just
Right.
absurd to
And
me.
yeah,
I have another one here, and I listed this as Brian Burns doesn't win with power. And credit to Tony, this is one of the things that I said with him, or that Tony has said about Brian Burns, that he's good with speed, but he's just never been very strong at the
right.
point of attack. And I feel like this is another scenario and example of that. Look how easily in the run Brian Burns is just moved out of the way. Look, look,
Yeah, it's
he takes a
and
bad angle, and then the tight end just pushes him out of the play.
right, right, and that's Kobe uh, Parkinson for the Seahawks, their number 2 tight end. So, I mean, it's really a bad look on Brian Burns. I mean, um,
Yep. I mean, he
so
thinks that like right now, he shouldn't be to the outside of this tight
right,
end. He
right,
should be right in front of him, hands on his shoulder pads,
right.
and whatever way the running back decides to cut, you throw the tight end in the opposite direction.
And if you looky there real quick while you have it paused, 95 Derek Brown, who's
I'm gonna play it one more
320
time.
pounds, by the way, it gets a better release off his blocker. And if he was just a little bit more agile, he could have stopped him. But we're talking about a 320 pound man, So, but that's a scenario that Burns should have stopped.
Yeah.
Had it been
Yeah,
there
and
to
it's
stop it.
also, why is Derek Brown so much quicker to disengage than your nimble, agile outside linebacker defensive end?
Right.
That's just a bad, a bad angle, bad technique from Brian Burns, in my opinion. And of
Hmm.
course, it's easy for us to say sitting here behind a computer, but Again, but when you see it done at the highest level by other players, you know what you're looking for in these types of scenarios. Now, this is a good play by Brian Burns, but it again it repeats the same narrative that we know. Whenever he is one-on-one and he's able to use his speed and athleticism, that's when Brian Burns thrives.
Right.
This might not even have been the right play. Hang on,
But it was a good play either way.
Well, it
watch
was.
Brian Burns against that left tackle. He just gets manhandled by that left tackle.
Yeah, no. So this was what I had doesn't. All right, so this is the play right before the sack, and this is where I have doesn't win with power.
Right.
So yeah, this is Brian Burns. Again on this backup, and this is a backup left tackle, not Charles Cross. And again, tries and maybe a little bit of a hold in too.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you need to be more violent in those types of scenarios.
Right.
Yeah. Now the next play is the one-on-one sack, and just uses his ability, boom, into the backfield.
Right.
When he's able to finesse you, that's when Brian Burns is on point.
Exactly.
But when he has to convert speed to power, that's when Brian Burns has shown the issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice stuff. Still want to see more. Want to see that bull rush become even better for him. We're at 2035. Let's jump to we're going to 24. Jump ahead just a tad.
Troy Hill executed. Everyone
else misses. Yeah. So going to 24-30. All right. Yeah, poor Troy Hill. So Troy Hill.
He might be 32, but at least he's there.
So keep your eyes on number 13. Troy Hill lined up on the bottom. Oh, just out of his shoes, man.
Wow.
Watch that miss, man.
Wow.
What a run by Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They had a day for Seattle. But look at the move that he puts on Troy Hill.
Wow.
And nope. Nah, son.
There for a minute, I thought that was Calvin Benjamin out there.
Calvin Benjamin. Yeah, I was just looking all lost and out of sorts. Yeah, it might have been. All right. We're going now to 32-28. All right. So I'll go back one more time. All right, 32-28. I have it written down in my notes. Yeah, so this is one of the better plays from this entire performance, Pickle. Andy Dalton to DJ Chark. You see DJ lined up. They have him in the slot. They have him run this little, almost like an out route to the sideline. Mm-hmm. And DJ Chark just puts a move on him and gets into the end zone. And that's what you signed DJ Chark for those types of plays. I really do hope that we put our speed receiver in the slot far more often. Decent pass protection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Enough room for Dalton to be able to step up into his left
and
put the ball down there for DJ to make a move.
Yep. DJ got behind the DBs and caught him with their shorts down, so to speak, and one little juke, and he was into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's what we want from DJ Chark. Mm-hmm. That is what we signed him to do. So I've got 35-06. This was a nice one. This was the Deion Jones interception. I'm gonna rewind it this way. All right. So 35, we're going to go to 3506. NFL has made it considerably harder to bounce around, but it's all right. We will make do. All right. Deion Jones lined up right here, keeps his eyes on the quarterback, sees that it's coming to the flat, and just
Hmm.
jumps right in front of the
Just
lane.
jumped right into it.
Yeah.
Great play by a veteran linebacker. This is why you sign a guy like that, a
In the
veteran
first
who
place.
knows kind of where the ball may go. Yeah, he's wearing number 40. Some people may have thought that would be Brandon Smith, but it's Deion Jones.
Yeah, during the game, I forgot that Brandon Smith wasn't on the roster, and that was his number.
Yep.
But all right, now we're going to a Brian Burns pressure at
Yeah.
39-26.
There's been so much roster. There's been so much number changes. Even
Yeah,
guys
it's hard
like
to remember.
us, it's hard to remember who's who.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. This has been, I mean, once upon a time, Deion Jones was number 54. Now
Right.
that's Camu Cruz Hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I mean, yeah. It's the number
confusing.
54's been passed around a lot here in the last um little while.
Yep. Now I wanted to hone in on Brian Burns. This is a good pressure by Brian Burns, and I do think that it affected the play. Keep your eye on Brian Burns. Now that he does a good job at the speed to power. And Pickle, that's what you're talking about. Against the backup left tackle, well, that's what you want, man. You need to be able to put your hands into his chest and bulldoze that quarterback or that tackle back into the lap of the quarterback. And Brian Burns does that on this play. Boom. Perfect hand placement. Hands on the inside, right on his chest, on the inside of his arms. Push. Use that length. Disengage. Wrap up on the quarterback. Oh, you're muted, by the way.
Ah, gracious day.
All right. Next up, we have some Jeremy Chin to talk about. All right, I have it at 42-01, so we'll go back and just let it play from here. Nothing going. So I have this as Jeremy Chin, WTF. Not this one, but the very next one.
Mhm.
All right, so here's Jeremy Chin. He just gets bumped. You see what I mean? He's just on his ass. He's just on his ass like
Wow.
there. Yeah, this is why the Panthers don't trust Jeremy Chin in coverage. He played.
Well, I'm.
Jeremy Chin played 77% of snaps
Yep.
compared to 81% by Troy Hill, and you really do see why in certain passing scenarios
Mhm.
they don't want Jeremy Chin in on the play for just little dumb things like this. He's
Well, I
not
mean,
nimble in coverage.
no, he's not. He's not a real corner. He is a safety pretending he's corner. A lot
Right.
of people call him a linebacker. He's just a guy who's every year into the league, he's been moved in a different position. And I mean, bless his heart. Um, I still believe that if they left him, if he got to line up at the same position two times, he might be a player for somebody, but it probably won't be for Carolina after this year.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're not lying, man. I mean, right now, I mean, you mentioned linebacker, but that's more of something mentioned amongst fans. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Fans
And
want him to play linebacker, but the coaching staff has never once
right,
shown faith in Jeremy Chan to be able to play that position.
right. The defense we play, there's no way he can effectively play linebacker anyway. Not to my
No.
knowledge. Not in the defense we currently run.
All right, I have 44-26. Good throw on the run by Andy Dalton. I wanted to put this on here to show the boys some love. And yeah, by the way, to the people who feel like Andy Dalton runs the offense better, I feel like it's certain plays like this. I mean, look at that, man. Runs up, the pocket collapses around him, runs up, turns his body back across the field, and delivers a nice ball to, I believe it was DJ Chark. Yeah,
Hmm.
evades the pressure. By the way, Chandler Zavala just absolutely destroyed on that play. And then
Yeah.
Dalton runs up, pump fakes, turns back the other direction, and gets gets Miles Sanders on the crossing route. Not bad stuff by Andy Dalton there. And that veteran poise allows Dalton to be able to make plays like this. So
Right. Right.
that's why some people feel more confident with Andy Dalton under center right now than Bryce is still learning on the fly.
That's kind of understandable. But a lot of folks feel that Bryce is only going to learn in the game. Cam Newton was on film this
Right?
week, and he said that himself. He said the best way for a young quarterback to learn is on the football field, and
Yeah.
so I kind of agree with that. So, but I do
You
understand
definitely
why
don't
some
learn
people
to
don't.
play.
So,
You definitely don't learn to play football sitting on the bench.
right,
that's that's for
right.
damn sure.
You learn how to
Um,
be a coach is what you learn
yeah,
how to be.
yeah.
There's a lot of NFL coaches were NFL players, but they weren't starters. So, you know,
Um, hey Pickle,
yeah,
I got a question for you.
okay.
Why the hell are the Carolina Panthers running RPOs with Andy Dalton?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know. You know what? Andy Dalton may have been able to do that 20 years ago in college,
Yeah,
maybe 25.
he's
But
not doing it now.
yeah, 25 years ago, I could do a lot of things that I can't now.
And by the way, on these RPO plays, you're supposed to read the defender. He
Right,
already sees that he has a guy right here, so
right,
he feels this guy is too far inside to be able to give the ball off to Miles Sanders. So
right.
he takes it for himself and proceeds to run tail to the outside.
Yeah,
And
and
there's just
that's
another
just
defender
yeah,
just
that's just
waiting for him. Now
you
maybe
you.
they do this because you feel like no one's expecting Andy Dalton to run the football.
Right.
And to be honest, that's true. I mean, no one is
Yeah,
expecting
exactly.
Andy Dalton to run the
Yeah,
football, but
but
man, less of this with
yeah, he
honestly both
does
of them.
exactly because poor old Andy, and not only is he's not used to running like this, he's running the wrong way. I
Yeah,
mean, that film he had a little bit more room to go up the field with some blockers, but bless his heart, he's just not used to running RPOs.
yeah, not at all. 40. I had 45. That was the Dalton RPO. So now I believe 46 is what I meant. 46. 46,
Okay,
27.
okay.
Oh, no,
Did you do
I
the
must have passed it.
DJ? Did you do the DJ Chark banana route?
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. That's what I'm looking for. It's I have it at 45, 27. All right, hang on. So yeah, it was the very next play. Yeah, this right here. So check out DJ Chark at the top, and just the laziness of the route, man. There's no suddenness to his movement. Now Andy Dalton overthrows that, but I'm
Right.
sorry. To me, that's just terrible route running on the part of DJ Chark. Like stop on the dime right there. I mean, boom, 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 and then turn and towards the sideline. And if you do that, I feel like you're presenting a much better target for
Hmm.
Andy to be able to throw to. And maybe if he does that, maybe he's able to high point that football. It wasn't a fantastic throw, but there are just times when DJ just does not have
Yeah,
the proper route running.
I don't believe if we watch here, I believe Andy didn't have a great deal of time in the pocket. I mean, he had some time, but not, you understand, not all day to
Mhm.
throw it. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
but
not all day, but I mean, you want more.
right,
You're
exactly.
wanting
Yeah,
more from DJ Shark. You want more from your O
yep,
line.
right.
All right, it wouldn't be a film room thus far without me picking on Kemba Kwanu and his ability to play left tackle.
Yeah.
So keep your eye right here. His kryptonite pickle is a swipe maneuver. His
Hmm.
absolute kryptonite.
Hmm.
And simple swipe right by him.
Yep.
And this is always where his problems are. It's
Yep.
edge rushers with pass, extra pass rushing maneuvers
Right.
at the end of his kick set. And watch number 53, man. 53 pretty much had his way with my man for the majority of the day. Whoop! Look at him, off base, off center. I mean, there's nothing good about that. Nothing. Pickle, would you move him inside, or would you continue to
Um,
let him
uh,
struggle
to be
because you have
honest,
no other options?
I would like to move him inside. I do. I f- I feel that in passing downs, Brady Christensen would be a better outside left
Yeah, but
tackle.
you don't have Christensen
But
no
we don't
more,
have
though,
left. We don't have.
right?
So there's not a lot of. I mean, currently on the Panthers right now, we don't have a left tackle better than Ike Ekwonu. We wish we
No,
did, but we don't. So I would leave Icky where he's at for right now.
yeah, really have
It's
no
not
choice.
the it's not the best option, but it's the only option.
Yeah, 47. All right, so this is the and again, Chandler Zavala has not been playing left guard for very long, but I just wanted to throw this in there for all the
Yeah,
contingent of Panther fans that really wanted DJ Chark. I mean, not pardon me, Chandler Zavala to play left guard next to Kevin Kwanu. Not
yeah,
looking so hot right now. Here he is
no,
lined up at left guard. Yeah, so the
yeah,
next view is a little bit better.
I really, really, really want to say something.
And
I don't see what these fans and the coaches for that matter saw in uh Chandler Zavala. I'm going to remind everybody that the Panthers didn't go get him. He called the Panthers up and
yeah,
reminded them to draft him.
so
If that's the case, I wouldn't have drafted him because if I had him on my list, I would have took him then. Um,
So and one, I don't agree with anything that you're saying, but two, I actually made the mistake. Bradley Bozeman is the one who's looking pretty awful on this
yeah.
play. That nose
Well,
tackle, or
yeah, that's
this guy right here, gets his hands on Bradley Bozeman and just beats it. Chandler. My apology. Chandler's does a decent job on this specific play, but
right,
yeah, there's just nothing moving,
right.
man.
And
Nothing moving.
shout out to Bradley Bozeman. Um, we thought more of him. We signed into a contract. Um, they Scott Fitter kind of I think hesitated. He didn't get what he thought he was going to get. I don't think. I know there was some delay in signing him. Um, but so far, Bradley Bozeman got overpaid. He
Yeah,
just
and I
is.
do
I wish
want,
I
I
was
do
wrong,
want,
but
I do want to see him with better guards on the sides of him. I mean, I
yes.
feel like that's last year. That's when we
Hmm.
saw him play the best, and offensive line plays as a unit. And when they're not able to do that consistently, it's hard for anyone on the line to play well. I'm hoping that Austin Corbett that him coming back maybe could help this out. But again, I still think that they're going to roll with Chandler Zavala at left guard, and with him and Icky kind of having their own struggles right now, it just kind of seems like a recipe for disaster at the moment.
Right.
So I have 51. I have 5104. So I'll let it play from here. So just blitz, man. Another scenario where they have Brian Burns drop back in the coverage. Pickle, they're just going to rush forward. They're showing blitz. They have Deion Jones at the line pretending that they're going to blitz. And Pickle, damn it, I wish that they would. I wish that they would because they're playing the soft zone coverage anyway. You know
Right.
that it's a passing down. This is a third
Hmm.
down play. Be aggressive, man. Be aggressive and go after them. And the Panthers just don't. And especially if they're
Well,
gonna leave this underneath stuff open
yeah.
for yeah, I mean, if they're gonna leave this stuff open for their tight ends, then it's like you might as well blitz them because that's what you would do. You're gonna drop players in that scenario in order to have more men in coverage, and
And
they did that, and it didn't matter at all.
I know this was soft zone coverage, but number 84 beat Brian Burns so far at the line of scrimmage, and in this one, he gets a pass on Brian Burns.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you're gonna have Brian Burns drop back in the coverage, you should have him on the tight end that licks out to the left side of the field.
right.
It just doesn't make much sense to me, man. All right, next up, I have 5203. On this one, I have yeah, Jeremy Chin just whiffs on this play. If that is the right play, yeah. Jeremy Chin whiff. Let's check it out. Yeah, dude, look at Jeremy. Again, man, it's like
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be hard on him, but the man has just been so thoroughly disappointing. You miss a
Hmm.
tackle like this in open space. Here's Jeremy Chin. He sees the running back come out. He should have already been running as soon as he sees this dude. Uh, yeah, and he just makes a heads up play. And nasty, man. Just jukes Jeremy out of his shoes. Has him looking pretty dumb, Pickle.
That's just that's just that's just Jeremy Chin to me looks like he's going for the big hit instead of the sure tackle.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to
But it's
me.
also the instincts. Luke
Yeah.
knew when the ball was going to what player,
Right.
and he was starting his motion to run before that
Before
guy even got out
exactly.
of his break.
Right.
Oh, man. Just all bad. All bad.
Right.
I have 52, 55. And on this one, uh, uh, yeah. So, Pickle, you notice no Geno Smith under center. They're in Wildcat quarterback. Everyone knows that,
It's a
uh,
run.
yeah, everyone
I
knows
mean,
that it's a run, and they still pick up 9 yards.
yep.
Just embarrassing, man. What are you doing?
Um. To be honest, we seem to have a team full of special teamers and backups and older veterans that are well past their prime.
Yeah,
That's the
and you
defense
have a
we're
lot
running with.
of you have players that have not been prepared to or they haven't been prepared to be starters on this
Right,
team.
exactly.
We
And
did not expect Cruz Hill and Deion Jones to be
to be
starting
your
linebackers
no,
for the
you didn't.
Panthers.
You didn't. You know, I know Frankie Louvu came back in practice today, so that's a good thing. But We have to be better prepared for such situations in the future. Maybe not
Yeah.
this season, but next season we have to be. That's a requirement.
Yeah. All right. Completion underneath Dalton. I have 56.04. And dude, this is the play of the game for the Carolina Panthers, Pickle. It's a great pass by Andy Dalton and a really good catch by DJ Chark. And if the Panthers are ever going to have a downfield passing attack, it's more of these plays that we need to continue to hit on. Just dropped it right in the bucket, right
Right.
where DJ can make a play on the football. All DJ has to do is put his hands up and snatch it out of the air. Yeah, beautifully executed. And you see, they even had some decent pass protection, Pickle.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part, everyone does their job. Now, not a lot of separation, but man, you don't need to when you have a ball that's thrown that well. I mean, that's nice stuff, man. I
Right.
want more of that. Next up, I'm gonna go forward just a tad. So I am going to 59.08. And as I mentioned earlier, too many times do we have Brian Burns dropping back into coverage. And this is another moment where I just don't understand the mindset. You know, you're already down in the ball game. You
Hmm.
know you need plays. Why are you not being more aggressive? And why are you dropping Brian Burns back into coverage time after time after time? It just makes no sense to me.
You're right. And before I was saying that maybe he was hurt, but if he was hurt, why would they keep dropping him back into coverage? But at the same time, when he's on the line of scrimmage in this game, he doesn't make plays.
No, but
So
also,
at the
he
time, you're stuck.
also never makes plays when you're dropping him back into coverage. Like I
Yeah.
think it was Brian Burns before the start of the season was putting out all these videos of him practicing his footwork, dropping back. I think it was a goal of his. He wants to get an interception this year.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, bro, that's all well and nice, but your primary job is a pass rusher. And I feel
Right.
like the Panthers, they're not utilizing him enough as a pass rusher, as weird as that sounds. Too many times they're dropping him back into coverage for no gain at all. I mean, a play is
r-
never made on the football. And
Right.
yet again, Dante Jackson messing up downfield.
It would be different if Brian Burns was dropping into coverage and actually making plays on the balls, or tipped the balls, or deflected the balls, or something. It would be by far different. But he's not.
No.
He's walking into his own spot and sitting in one spot. That's all he's doing.
And by the way, what is Dante even doing? Look at Dante on this play. So Dante, he's 1-on-1 right here. Play starts. His job is to run with him, and he stops. It's like he's stopping just for a millisecond, and dirty eyes, man, looking
Yep.
in the backfield. Like,
And,
who even knows what Dante Jackson is even doing at this moment?
Dante Jackson's been here since he was drafted, and he does the same stuff every year, and the same stuff he gets by with. He gets beat on, and we just supposed to shrug all that off and go on to the
Yeah,
next year when
and
he's going to get beat again.
And Deion Jones, I believe that's Deion Jones. He's responsible for the tight end here. So why is Dante Jackson even fearful of the tight end catching the ball underneath? Stay
Exactly.
on your man. And by the way, Geno Smith was looking in that direction. So
Right.
Dante should have known if he had his eyes on the backfield that the ball was going to be in that direction. Keep your eyes on your man. Just embarrassing, Pickle. Beautiful throw by Geno Smith. I've been impressed with Geno, man. Geno had a nice performance.
Well, we tend to make average quarterbacks look good.
Yep. We're almost to the end of our film room. Let me see. 41 seconds at the very end. Let's do it right here. This I have listed as, oh yeah, Deion Jones just not knowing what to do, right? So you see Deion Jones, put it on, enlarge it here. Deion Jones responsible for the tight end, and you see that, right? They
Yep.
motion the tight end to the end of the line. It's Deion Jones' job to stay with that tight end. He ends up escaping
Blitzing.
out the bottom, and just zero awareness by Deion Jones to be able to follow his man on that play.
Wow. That's just not surprising.
No,
I mean,
he hasn't been here very long.
even and even
know?
even if there was a scheme set to where Dion was supposed to blitz, somebody else should have picked him up, and they did not.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere, and he's just, but Dion, he's out of position to both. And he, granted, he wasn't supposed to get this much playing time. But you've got to be prepared for all that. As a backup, you have to be prepared for a situation like we was dropped in their laps on the Seahawks, and they weren't prepared.
no,
And as a veteran, he should know that. As
yeah,
a veteran
and
linebacker, he should definitely know that.
yeah, and this is one of the points that I was making earlier when I was talking about my concerns for the team before the season started this year, and I'm just afraid that uh, that the Panthers do not have the proper depth at linebacker in order to be competitive. All right, so we're gonna look at this big time Andy Dalton, Adam Thielen throw. They end up connecting on the deep out. You have Adam Thielen right here. You have him lined up more in the slot. Andy Dalton, decent protection. It does eventually start to leak on him. He plants his feet, has Adam Thielen on the deep crosser, and that's just a nice play, man.
Yep,
Andy
it
Dalton
is.
had a big time performance, one of his best since 2017, by the way.
Right. I'm interested in seeing this concept because if he could have got the ball to Thaden just a few minutes earlier, um, Thaden could have run upfield instead of to the sidelines. But that's because he had to move out of the way of the pass rush. That makes sense.
Yep. All right, next up, we have another bit of Kevin Quanu looking just absolutely lost. So again, keep your eyes. Number 79 at left tackle. False starts, man. The false starts were just
Oh,
giving
that's
him
just
hell, man.
yeah,
Giving
that's
him
just.
hell.
And some of these, I believe that, and I think we've talked about this. I believe Icky's trying to
Do too much.
yeah, he's trying to stop the speed rusher because he's
Yep.
susceptible to that. And I
Yeah.
think right now his head's full, so to speak, and he just needs to calm down, relax, and do his job.
Yeah. I mean, Andy
You know,
Dalton is going to change the play, and he's
right?
like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
And look at Andy Dalton, like,
yeah. It's like,
"Oh
come on,
man,
man.
what the hell?" And look, he knows it too. He's got his hands on his helmet.
You know what Andy Dalton says? Icky, shut the hell up and play. That's what he says. Just shut the hell up.
He wishes
But
that crowd would shut the hell up. That's what he
yeah,
wishes.
exactly. And it's Icky's just trying his best, but sometimes you can try your best and it ain't working.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right, 108 41. I have Adam feeling dangerous on the dig route. You have Adam
Yeah.
coming across the field on the underneath little dig.
It don't look
Gets
like
the
he's
ball in his
33 years
hands.
old here, does it?
No, not right there.
Huh.
Puts on a nice little move.
Yeah,
Gets some extra yards.
he
Almost a
almost gets it.
touchdown.
Almost gets it.
Oh man, that would have been incredible if he
If
would have
he's
made that
25
for a
years younger,
touchdown.
he'd have got that touchdown.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right, so we only have 5 more left after this. After this one right here. Yeah, I mean, just nice job on the underneath. I
Yep.
want to see more mesh routes. I want to see
Yep.
more like that. All right, 111.57. Overall, I mean, it was an up and down day for the Panthers, and
Yep.
the defense, man, just in these halves, and the second halves of football
Mm.
games, the offense is just so inept that they're just inevitably they're out on the field for far too long.
Right.
And at this point in the game, they're about done with.
And with by the time you add in all the injuries, I know Rivero said he don't include the injuries because everybody's supposed to man up, but nonetheless, you include the injuries. Between the injuries, the offense was on the field a little bit, but at the same time, they're not running the ball at all, hardly at all, not to where they should run the ball.
Yeah.
And there's just a mismatch here for running the ball. I believe it's a scheme fit running the ball issues. I believe they'll just have to figure it out. I mean, there ain't no elf sitting on a shelf to come to their rescue. So,
No.
there's just not. So you got to figure out what you got to go with. Uh, so you've paid your running backs, you've drafted your left tackles. You've got who you got. You can't wait a couple more weeks and see if we can wait till another guy comes back. You've got who you got. You've got to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and another thing that you have a bunch of defenders who do not know how to tackle. Because
Right.
what the hell is this, man? Just nobody. Look, and by the way, even look at Brian Burns, man.
What the
Look,
hell?
look,
Burns
look.
was just standing there.
Yeah, look at
He
Brian
just stood there.
Burns.
It's like when you get to me, I'll stop you.
Yeah, like that's when you need to be attacking, making the tackle, and just goes
Wow.
right by him, man. That's
Um,
embarrassing stuff, man.
Brian Burns, Julius Peppers, you're not. And Luke Kuechly, you're not. You're not even a Thompson. Right now, you ain't even Al Wallace. Shout out to the older football fans who know who that is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So,
If he was hurt,
but yeah, he
that's
may be
one
hurt,
thing.
and I
But
may be having to
yeah,
eat all this criticism. But nonetheless, if he's hurt, they didn't announce it. At the very least, they could explain it in the press conference this day that he was trying to play hurt, or he could have said something or something. But not that they have to, but
yeah. So I have Seattle. Oh, this is a Seattle touchdown, and yeah, just Jeremy Chin.
hmm I really believe
Right.
it. Jeremy Chin's played too many positions so far in his young career, and he's just getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I mean his job is to follow that tight end. I mean that that tight end, they're sending him in motion to be able to block. So here he comes. You see Jeremy Chin's following him. The tight end turns up the middle. Jeremy Chin stops with him. That allows this running back to take the right angle and get to the pylon. And Jeremy Chin just ends up getting caught up in the rubble underneath.
Right.
I just would have liked to have
Which, I
seen
mean,
him
yeah.
sprint
Yep.
to the sideline.
Well, shout out to Seattle who got the job done, but nonetheless, I would have thought that we could at least made it harder on them.
Yep.
But shout out to Seattle who all Iki Kwanu's false starts. They did put out a nice video where everybody can see exactly every single false start.
Who put it out?
It's the Seattle Seahawks official website.
Oh, so they were rubbing it in.
They sure was.
Well, they were showing
Not,
off the 12th
not.
man.
Well, all right, okay, yeah, we could call it that, but they're still rubbing it in.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, that's what they do. So what Cam Newton say? If you don't like it, stop us.
yeah. If you don't want me to
So
do it, don't let me in.
stop. Yeah. So
All right, so this play, boy, just embarrassing. And to me, this is on DJ Chark
yeah.
running a terrible route against midfield close. So I mean, you have a safety, you have two safeties back deep, and if Andy Dalton throws the right pass, but I'm entirely certain that DJ Chark runs the wrong route. That's here to the bottom, lined up at X, goes inside, and look, you see that the defender is closing against the midfield. He's supposed to break that off earlier and head back down here toward the sideline. And I mean, look, he should have been doing that. I mean, he should have done that like a second ago. Watch.
Right.
So at this point, he needs to be turning toward the sideline and running to catch the ball. You see him running still towards the middle of the field. That's
Right.
middle field close. No, that's just not a heads up play by DJ Chark. This might have been
Right.
a big time catch, if not
Right.
for that. But DJ Chark has just lost, not knowing where the hell the football is coming from.
Right. See how the offensive line protection was. Wasn't too bad. I mean, wasn't.
Yeah, it could
I
have been
mean,
better.
it could have been better,
Yeah, for sure, could have been better.
but we're not very well established as far as offensive line wise to get a deep ball. We're just not.
No.
Uh, you know,
Uh,
uh,
hmm
we got the guy on the field that can catch the deep balls, but we don't. We're just not established enough to throw the deep balls yet on a consistent basis. But the offensive line wide goes.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're having to swap your left guard, your right
Right.
guard. Yeah, you're just moving everybody around far too much. All right, this should be it right here. So on this one, this is Ike Kwanu just not being able to defend against the swipe, man. A big time third down. And Ike Kwanu, I mean, Pickle, I mean, we have to be honest at this point. I feel like he's even regressed from where he was last year. And by the
Right.
way,
Uh,
keep in
I,
mind what type of maneuver ends up beating Ike Kwanu on this play. Oh, it's a swipe. Never mind.
yep.
No guessing
And
needed.
this is part of the course.
Still
Or not
damn near a
not
catch.
yes, it very nearly was with Icky. To me, Icky was the best run blocking tackle in the draft last year. We drafted him high, and we knew his when we
Deficient.
drafted him, we knew his deficiencies in pass blocking. That's why some people wanted um
Charles
because
Cross.
well, you had Charles Cross, who was great in pass protection, but
Yep.
wasn't the best in run
Against
blocking.
the run. Right.
So a lot of people wanted the other. He slips my mind now. He went to
Evan
the
Neal,
Giants.
the
Yes,
Alabama. Yeah,
yes.
Evan
A lot
Neal.
of people wanted Evan Neal because they figured he was the balance of the two. He
Yeah.
wasn't excellent at either one, but he was a balance of the two.
Yeah.
And but Nicky's Icky right here. You know what? Life goes on in the NFL. Life goes on. The coach that drafted him's working in college. He can't go back to college. Icky is what he is right now.
So,
It's up to him to adapt.
Pickle, you want to see an airplane?
Sure.
Oh, I damn missed it. There was a moment I paused it the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's still damn near a reception by DJ Chark. But look at my man Icky. Woof. Look, there he is. There's your airplane.
Yeah, yeah. He's dreaming of Cam Newton playing airplane on the field. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, he must be, man. It's just a simple swipe
Right,
maneuver. And again, you want to punch. And you see this
right,
during the offensive tackle combine drills. They shoot their hands and then bring it back to him because
right,
they're trying to just move him around the arc of the quarterback. They're trying to move him around him, and it doesn't let the defensive end just swipe your arms away. The more you just leave your arms out there like these two wet wooden logs, and to just knock your arms away, keeping your quarterback pressured almost all the time, man. And it's always the same swipe maneuver without fail, always.
right.
Boom. Just all bad, man. All bad. Pickle, the last one is one that you requested. So I'm gonna let you take this one. This is a Brian Burns zero effort at 28 seconds.
Right. And
So I'm gonna let it play from right here. I'll
okay.
pull it up. Yeah,
If you
Brian
watch,
Burns lined up here at the bottom.
yep, watch Brian Burns. I mean, you got a backup, or you got a guard, a backup tackle, stopping him 1-on-1, and look at this mess. Just, I mean, and through all that, the guy still makes a catch, and he's got two
Yeah,
people back there.
yeah.
I mean, it's just what a mess from the end
Jeremy
zone view.
Chin with
Yeah, 1-on-1. If Burns wants to make the money he wants to make, he beats this guy 1-on-1. Look over there.
yeah,
Um, YGM nearly got him, but or not YG. Yeah, YGM
yeah,
nearly got him.
YGM.
Why in this play? YGM is a better pass rusher than Brian Burns, folks. Just one play, you can't deny that.
Let's check it out one more time.
And there's no double teams. I couldn't find one photo, one videotape in this game where Brian Burns was double teamed. Not one. I challenge anybody to find one in this game.
Ah, near miss by YGM too.
Yeah, I mean, he almost gets him, and that would have been a great play if he would have got him. And the pursuit by 91. 91 is Nick Nick Thornton or something. He's a 20-year-old guy who's spent a bunch of times in training camp since he's was a rookie. So he's just kind of can't folder, but he's getting his opportunity here, and he's got great pursuit on that.
Yeah. Look at
That's what I
Jeremy Chin never turning his eyes
no,
back to the football
no,
even one time until it's too late.
right,
God, there's just no heads up play
right,
by damn near anyone on this football team. Even when YGM wins, he loses.
right,
And you are right. And by the way, I'll even use YGM to demonstrate my point. You see how he has secondary maneuvers. So it shoots the hands, gets by him, but then continues to disengage once it gets by him. So that way he can free his hips and point his entire body in direction of the quarterback. And just, even still, man, even he can't
right,
get it done.
right.
And yeah, Brian Burns, in moments like that, just where are you, brother?
Yeah,
It hurts me. I'm a fan of Burns. I think that he has the
right,
potential to be a much better player than he is. I don't know if he just had the raw deal when it comes to coaching. I don't really know, Pickle. I can't tell you for certain what it is. But at this point in time, Jeremy Chin is on the trade block.
right,
If the Panthers don't start to win more, I wouldn't even be surprised if Brian Burns is on the trade block, considering you do not have a first round pick this year for the
right.
Panthers.
Right, and you don't. And right now we've got a lot of needs, and like it or not, we have offensive line needs, we have defensive line needs, we've got secondary needs, we've got I would dare to say we know we got wide receiver needs. We need to add a younger tight end to develop a go. Um, I'm just disappointed in Hurst's release. I thought he would be more quicker off the ball. He's not being that. Of course, I would dare to say, even though you gave him a contract, to me, if the right person's there with the second pick,
Trade him.
running back wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. And just
Yeah.
because you're not getting your money's worth for Sanders,
For
you're
Miles
just not.
Sanders, yeah. I do think that if the offensive line is better, Miles Sanders will be better. But yeah, he had some bad drops. He took some bad angles. It was bad film, man. It was bad all across the board.
Right.
Bryce Young will be back under center for the Carolina Panthers as we welcome the Minnesota Vikings to Bank of America Stadium. Pickle, there's been another edition of the C3 Film Room, man. Happy that you could join me again, C3 Nation. If you want continued access to these videos, make sure you're subscribed for $1.99 a month. Helps incentivize us to continue to make these and put these out for the great C3 Panther fans. Pickle, I appreciate you joining me once again, brother. We'll do it again next week and break down the film from the Panthers and the Vikings. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. C3 Nation. Until next time, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.